Men are not women, and we all know it. This innocuous phrase should be completely free from controversy. Yet it's these words that got Meghan Murphy banned from Twitter. Now, context matters, unless you're in Britain, of course. And in this context, Meghan Murphy was responding to a trans rights activist, specifically a male to female trans rights activist. But with or without context, this statement alone should mean nothing to a trans rights activist. After all, they, like so many in the trans community, insist that they are women. Real women. So if this is true, then such a statement should not offend, because it only applies to those who identify as men, which the litigious and ban-hammering TRAs do not. But are they really women? Am I, the self-made woman, a real woman? Well, let me ask you, is soy milk milk? Is soy milk real milk? Is a veggie burger the same as a hamburger? In all of these cases, we are talking about products that are analogous, but are absolutely different. As someone who consumes soy on the reg, yet also used to consume a lot of meat and dairy, I can honestly tell you these are not the same. If you really compare them, they each have their own pros and cons, their own trade-offs, if you will. But it's ultimately a matter of taste. And yes, you are allowed to have your own taste, and don't let anyone tell you you are wrong for holding on to it. And not everyone who likes meat likes soy, and vice versa, nor should they. And with a skilled chef, you can get soy to feel and taste like the real thing, just as a gay man or trans woman with enough time, money, skill, and patience can create a convincing illusion that they are natural born women. In soy products, part of the reason for this is because even the real thing is often processed and preserved using the very same ingredients used in soy alternatives. Likewise, when it comes to women's beauty, the influence of male aesthetics is everywhere. And it's clear to me that men have been guiding women's beauty for a very long time. Suffice to say, the imitation can fool you. I've tried vegan chicken that was so convincible, I thought I must have been tricked, that it couldn't really be vegan until I looked at the box. Likewise, I've met trans women who were so passable, I really couldn't tell for sure without looking at the box. But convincible or not, it's still not the same thing. Yes, the soy burgers may go through the same processing, but the proteins and the history of the two products are absolutely different. They both present their own benefits and risks. Likewise, there are things that a woman can offer that a trans woman can't, beside her capacity to have children. A trans woman does not have a female brain, no matter what anyone tells you. Our brains are, at best, androgynous. Our perspectives are different. And just as two cuts of meat are not identical, even a lamb chop and a ribeye have more in common than a veal cutlet and a Morningstar patty. Likewise, no two genetic women are perfectly alike, yet they still do generally share more in common than a trans woman and a genetic woman. That's because the minute changes that girls undergo, changes that affect mind, body, especially during the formative years, body image, social interactions, stack up. And by the time they reach womanhood, they become completely different from the men. In the case of trans women, we get to bypass most of those minute changes and generally go straight for the superficial changes. So even while our bodies might pass, our minds give us away. Just look at all the anti-TERF messages and tell me these messages are products of the minds of women. No rational person will buy that, nor should they. Oh, and before you say, but the Impossible Burger, it's just as good as any meat patty, it even bleeds. Well, you can't exactly say that about trans women, now can you? Though human rights perverter Jessica Yaniv might tell you otherwise.
Why would I have this if I didn't need to use it?
You just pull out a pad.
What?
You pulled out a pad.
Yeah. Why would I have them if I didn't need to use them?
Is this real life?
And yes, I realize that it is bad enough to compare women to milk, a product of male oppression, i.e., pregnancy, but to actually compare them to meat? Well, when we're really talking about trans women, let's face it, some people just aren't interested in their meat. And while the day may not be far when someone says, the human population is too big, you really need meat alternatives, tell them they can go suck on a worm. And yes, I realize you could probably say we trannies really are just soy boys. And to that, all I have to say is cheers.